Cruise Sports is not responsible for your favorite Big Ten team's mismanagement of how they play football. Your school was your choice. All analysis from the guests and host of this video are expert opinion. Please be prepared for experts' picks in Episode 5, Week 6 podcast of the only place for real college football analysis. By the way, no one was harmed in this video, just your feelings. Enjoy!
Let's just go ahead and get into this week's picks, because I think that this week's picks are going to show the frauds and the reals. Now, again, it is only some of their, fifth, sixth games, but Michigan plays at Michigan State, and Michigan State looks to be better than they were last year. I had already, before the year started, put Michigan State at the very bottom, but I don't know that that's going to be the case. I don't think this is going to be a tough slate for Oregon at all, but I think we will see Michigan State at least put in a good effort.
I would echo everything that you just said. I have no differences as to what you just said. I would go the exact same route.
Okay. Didster?
Yep, same over here. I don't think either team, we quite don't know what they're going to be yet, and especially Oregon, I haven't been too impressed, so.
I mean, are there any? My thing is that, and call me crazy, but I still think Michigan State, if they can play well, this could be a trap game for Oregon. Like, if I turned on the TV in the third quarter and it was a one-score game, it honestly would not surprise me, just because Michigan State is 3-2, and they've proven that they can win games this year. Now, I've watched Oregon play, but I think they're way better than Michigan State, but this could be a trap game. Again, we're in the middle of the season. We're literally in the middle of it, and Oregon needs to stomp Michigan State is basically what I'm saying. Okay, next game, Saturday at 11 o'clock on Fox. We got UCLA at Penn State. Ought to be a bloodbath. That's all I'm going to say. Penn State by 30. I don't know. What's the spread on this? It's
at least 30.
27.5. The over-under is 46.5, which means Penn State 30 and UCLA 10. Yeah.
Ish. Yeah. It's going to... I wouldn't watch this game. It's going to be ugly. It's not going to be very entertaining. Just find something else to watch at 11 a.m.
Well, there's plenty. Purdue at Wisconsin at 11.
Another one. Don't watch it.
Pick'em games too. It's on Big Ten Network. I mean, if you're on the Big Ten Network, it's not that big of a deal. But sometimes those games are really a lot closer. I got Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin, but I don't say that with any sort of reverence.
What do you think?
Yeah, again, kind of like it's already been mentioned a couple times. Just it's not that Wisconsin's going to be that great. Purdue's just.
I called them to beat Nebraska, and they almost. I mean, they played well for a minute.
Yeah. Well, Wisconsin last week was pretty impressive at USC for about a quarter and a half to the end of the first half, and then USC scored 28 points. That felt like a game where if Wisconsin could have won it, it would finally set them in the right direction. And we talked last week about how the Luke Fickell era has been pretty underwhelming so far.
It's bad, man. Like, you're right when you bring up Wisconsin. Luke Fickell, this could be his last big school. Honestly, I mean,
depends on how he does, but yeah,
I don't see, especially with the new slate of teams. All right, the next game is one that's upset alert. Upset alert. 3-1 Iowa goes to the Horseshoe, or what was a horseshoe. Now it's a horseshoe. Kind of. But anyway, Ohio State, number 3, should pounce Iowa. But this game, this is what's surprising to me. This game only has 20.5 is what I'm seeing right now as the spread. When you look at UCLA Penn State, and they're almost 28. So maybe Iowa's just that much better than UCLA, I'm thinking, but I do have Iowa State in this game over Iowa. I hope to see a good game, because that would really make the Big Ten better, where they don't have so many teams way up here and so many teams down here. It would be nice to have a bunch of teams be competitive all the time, but I got Ohio State in this one.
I'm going to take Ohio State too. I don't think the line at Ohio State 20 and a half, that might be a little much, and I think I was very competent defensively, but I don't think it's crazy. I don't know what to think of Ohio State yet this year because they really have yet to play a tough challenge. So this will be their first one. The way they've
That's a
looked,
good
so they should win this game
that's a
by
good point.
two or
Ohio
three
State
scores.
has literally played no one. So this will be their first test. That's crazy. What do you think, FlashJordan?
Yeah, it's an interesting game for a lot of reasons, obviously, because it's going to be easily the best defense we play. It might be the best defense we play all year, honestly. Um, just compared to the amount of talent they have and how good they end up being. If I were Iowa, I'd play them the same way I would play Michigan, which is stack the box and make them throw the ball. Their running back, Caleb Johnson's been one of the best in the country so far this season. Had an unbelievable game last week, so I would expect Iowa to try to run the ball. That has been one sort of a weak point for Ohio State this year, but they've dealt with some injuries on the defensive line. I think they're all healthy now. So yeah, I expect Ohio State to win this one. Wouldn't go. I can't really predict a score honestly because last time we played Iowa, they had a great defensive game and we still scored 50 points. So I don't really know how to. I don't really know how to quantify it.
Indiana at Northwestern, another one of the unbeatens. I I certainly hope that Northwestern plays well. It's at their temporary stadium, literally on the Lake Michigan. Not like it's floating on the water, but it's literally right there. It's beautiful, according to everybody that's been there. But with that 23 5-0 Indiana, this could be the first time that I can remember in my lifetime that Indiana's been 6-0 in football, and I don't want to see that. I want to see Northwestern win, but I have Indiana winning this game, unfortunately.
Oh, you can go over if you're listening. Check out Did's hot takes on Instagram. Was one of my biggest things when I made the post beginning of the year of what I thought was going to happen in the Big Ten. I thought Indiana was going to start off 6-0. I don't think that's crazy, but if I remember correctly, I have them finishing at 7-6. I think this 6-0 is a little bit of a smokescreen because I do think they'll win this game. I just don't think Northwestern is, a very competent team this year. Again, I feel like I'm a broken record. It's not that Indiana's that great. An easy start for them, and I think down the stretch of this season, they're really going to have a tough time picking up wins.
Let me ask you a question. Are you offended that Indiana's 5-0 and Michigan is not?
No, no, not at all. I mean, as a fan, it's kind of been hard to watch. We don't look great. We've got a lot to fix. Hang my hat that our one loss has been to, in my mind, the best team in the country. The team that is still steamrolling guys with their backup quarterback in and Manning blood, but nothing against
Well,
that 4-1 record.
We'll get to them in a second, where we can really talk about Michigan. Flash, you've got Indiana taking this one too.
Yeah, and I looked through the weather report because the only way that Northwestern stands a chance is if there's some sort of storm, if there's some sort of weather advisory, maybe the lake pushes in a gust of wind at like 70 miles per hour
When they're
during
kicking the last game field goal.
Right, yeah. Other than that, no, I think Indiana's going to go in there and they're going to blow them out. And it's sad because this is one of the games that I thought Northwestern would be able to win. And I actually do think Indiana is a really, really good team.
Same here.
These next 4 games, or well, not this one because they're going to blow out Northwestern, but the 3 games after that are going to be really, really entertaining because they host Nebraska, they host Washington, and then they go at Michigan State. I mean, at this current moment, I don't see a world where they can't go at least 2-1 in those games.
Right.
Maybe go under. I'm saying there's a world, and then they host Michigan. Well, I'd probably pick them to beat Michigan right now.
If Indiana's undefeated by the Michigan game, I would. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen because even though I would favor them over all these teams, I still can't wrap my brain around it happening. But I'm saying there is a world where they head to Columbus on November 23rd, and Indiana is 10-0. Again, I'm not going to predict it. I'm going to predict them to win every game, but they're going to trip up somewhere. I couldn't pick.
Would that be a game day type scenario? Indiana at Ohio State?
I don't know, but
it would be.
I think when they host Michigan, it would be for sure.
So you're saying before that?
Yeah.
All right. Rutgers at Nebraska. Believe it or not, this is going to be a great game. I
Another
don't
big
know
game.
who to. I mean, Indiana Northwestern spread is only 14, mind you. We forgot to mention that. And the spread for Rutgers Nebraska is 7. And
Yeah.
I think Rutgers is going to have the same difficult time beating Nebraska as Illinois did. And Rutgers looks good, like Indiana. Like Indiana. They look like they can beat anybody if you look at their footage. Both teams, Indiana and Rutgers, it isn't like 7-3. These guys are scoring. The offense is great. The coaching's good. They've got great players that are kind of a surprise to a lot of the nation. But um, I'm gonna actually. I hate to do this as much as it pains me. Stab me in the heart, but I think Nebraska's gonna get this one. Well, we can't hear Didster. What do you think, Jordan? Unless
This is my upset of the week. Upset of the week. I think Rutgers is going to go to Lincoln and beat Nebraska. Um, Simply
is
because
that an
I saw
upset
the
though?
spread. Well,
I
I mean,
agree with you on that take.
yeah.
I'm really excited for the game. I think cool.
Go ahead.
Well, to finish this
Oh,
thought,
he's just lagging
I,
so
I
bad.
think I think Rutgers is going to win the game, and it's simply this. I
Difficulty.
saw this. Yeah, I think it's the spread's 7, right? Rutgers
Yeah,
is 7-point
yeah. The
underdogs,
spread is 7.
and I think they're going to cover that spread. Now, initially, I came into this thinking, okay, they're going to cover, but Nebraska's going to win the game. Well, if there's anything we know about Nebraska over the last 6 years, it's that if it's a one-score game, they're going to lose.
That's true.
They're going to find a way to lose.
That's true.
That's just that's
That's
written
a
at
really
this
good
point.
point, actually.
So if it's a close game, they're going to lose. They're going to find a way to blow it. I think Raiola's going to throw a couple really bad picks in this game. Give me the Scarlet Knights to upset the Cornhuskers.
All right, I feel you. Didster, is your mic working yet?
Good. Can you hear me? Give me
Yeah.
the okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Good.
Entertainment.
Sorry, I think I'm stretching the bandwidth to the fullest here. I got my Baltimore Orioles on right next to me in a tight one with the Royals, but
Okay.
regardless, I think Nebraska takes this one. I think it's cool as a football fan to see two programs that have not been very good in recent memory, and a game that really matters. I think Nebraska makes a lot of mistakes, like the way Rutgers has played, but I think they've got a fire lit under them after U of I came in and them on their home turf. They've got Patrick Mahomes want to be at quarterback and a more momentum thing right now, and I think that Nebraska's just got everything they need behind them to get this win against Rutgers. Be a close one though.
Well, it would surprise me to see like either team blow out either team, because one of them is. I guess what I'm saying is if they both play close, then their records like shows where they're at. But if Rutgers blows out Nebraska, end of the season for Nebraska. They won't have. Look, if you're Nebraska and you came into this season like they did, and you lose to Rutgers, I don't care if Rutgers is 9-0, 8-0, whatever. Nobody in the Nebraska fan base is going to be like, yeah, we're still good. So,
Yeah.
Michigan at Washington. Uh, this should be a close one. Washington is struggling this year, but they are so depleted from what they had last year. Everyone expects them to be, just as good. At least I'm sure their fan base does. I mean, they're selling out in Washington. I've watched two of their games this year, and I don't really think that Michigan has what it takes to blow out anybody in any game this year because the 4 games they've played, or the 5 games they've played, but the 4 wins that they have all been within a score or two. And actually, Vegas has Washington winning this game. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the upset. It's strange to me. Here's what's strange, and then I'll shut up. But Michigan is ranked number 10 versus a 3-2 Washington team, yet Vegas has them favored to win this game. So maybe this is a game that I actually make a sportsbook bet for once, and I pick Washington to win straight up. I don't know, but I'm going to go with Washington because I'm just going to trust the Vegas odds at this point.
Great pick. Great pick.
I'm obviously going to have some bias here, no matter what. I think it's a little bit respectful towards the Michigan team. We're ranked 10. Do I think we're the 10th best team in the country? No. Do I think we're the 20? Probably not. But do I think we deserve to be ranked? Yeah. We beat a good USC team who I really thought wasn't going to be good and has played, decent this year. Okay. Funny.
Hmm.
Um, I'll say I had the privilege of going to the University of Washington this year, and I
Oh,
can
really?
say like it's not an easy journey out there. And for a Michigan team coming from the Midwest, one of the first ones to go out that way from the Big Ten, it's gonna be a struggle. But like you said, Washington is 3-2. Michigan's got a great defense. Their offense struggles, but I don't think Washington has anything past that defense. And I like Michigan to do what they've done every single game: ground and pound, run the ball, and just methodically win by like 3 points.
That
So I'm
is
gonna
the
take
way.
Michigan
That
in
is
this.
a way to play football. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. That winning games is winning games. Call me crazy, but if you get a W in the win column, no matter how you won the game, it's a freaking win. So it is what it is.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You're calling
And by
Michigan?
the
That's my
way,
question. Are you calling Michigan?
Calling Michigan, yeah. And I actually think, I think they're gonna win by probably 3 points to
So,
beat the odds that Vegas has set or beat the line that Vegas has set.
mm, okay.
Oh,
well, you guys keep saying that Washington's 3-2. Yes, they're 3-2, but let's analyze that 3-2 real quick. It was a 5 point loss to their rival at home, their rival who has all the pent up energy in the world, revenge
Yeah,
because they
they're
left
good.
them in the conference,
Washington
and
State's
they
great.
lost last week. They lost last week to Rutgers on Friday night, so they've had an extra day of rest. And if you watch that Washington Rutgers game, there is no reason that Washington shouldn't have won. They were the better team on the field, and they just had some wacky
That's a
things
very
happen
good
with
point.
weird turnovers and missed field goals and whatnot.
And it was
Going
on the
West Coast
road
to
at
East
Rutgers.
Coast, going West Coast to East Coast. Now Michigan's going East Coast to West Coast. I think this all lines up for Washington. And last thing, do you know who Washington's number one receiver is? Didster.
Oh, for real? Oh, you're asking
No, I'm
Dister.
I don't.
yes, he's a no.
Yeah,
It,
thank me.
it is a
Oh, the
man by the name
transfer
of
from is he
Giles Jackson.
is he transferred from
Yeah,
Michigan?
he is a Michigan
Yeah,
transfer.
and
that's what
he is
He is a
going to
Michigan
light
transfer.
up. They have Boston as well, but Giles Jackson has been really good for them. Point
Ooh, what a
is,
game.
I think it's tailor made for Washington to win this game. I will be locked into this affair, and I won't be able to wear my Washington shirt at that time because, well, these people pay me. But I will be actively rooting for them. So
Well, okay, so that's a good one. I got USC at Minnesota. I've got USC winning this one. I'm not calling an upset here, but I'm saying it's a trap game for USC. Again, I've always liked PJ Fleck, but he just hasn't delivered. But once in a while, Minnesota beats a good team. This could be the week. I'm going to call USC. I don't like the over under here is 51 and a half, and USC wins by 8. That means that Minnesota's going to score 3 times. Well, if Minnesota's scoring 3 times or has that many points, they're going to be in this game. So it's going to be USC close, but I would not be surprised if Minnesota pulls the upset.
The line in this one is that USC 8. I think it's closer than that. After the way they played Michigan last week, I like what Minnesota brings. I don't think that they're a super great team, but I think a lot of what college football is not about how good you are, good you play together. You got a lot of guys on those college football teams, and for a team like Minnesota that's not bringing in 5 star after 5 star, got to fight. And I think USC is going to walk in with their heads a little too high, and I think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to come down to the wire, and Miller Moss and will pull through, but I think it's going to be a very good game. And along with the Nebraska game and the Michigan game, that's probably the game I'm most excited for.
I'm gonna quickly look at the weather report for this week in Minneapolis because
It's in a dome.
I, you know, I don't, No, not the
Minnesota
Gophers.
plays in the. Do they not? Yeah, they do.
No, the Vikings do, but they don't. At least I don't think so. Um, Good weather for this game. I have 81. I think USC will enjoy that. So I don't think anything is going to trip them up. I would take USC to smash Minnesota in this situation. I weirdly like again. It wouldn't shock me if Minnesota is able to hang in this one. I just think USC is a lot better than people realize. The fact that they're ranked behind Michigan to me is laughable. I understand Michigan won the game, at home, one that they desperately needed, but I would take USC to beat them again and again and again. I think that if they played on a neutral field, you're talking about a blowout. So, but for this game again, I'll go USC, and I think they're going to win it big.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and for the record, Minnesota does play in an outdoor stadium, but they used to play in a dome. Okay, that's why I get confused. Yeah, I'm old, you know. All right,
Not you
well,
know.
that is our Big Ten talk of the week, and thank you for listening to that. Um, any last words? None.
Nothing from me. Go Bucks.
I mean, I I think one of our three favorite teams is going to win this week. Just one. Just one.
I agree.
All right, welcome to Secret Sports 2024. We're going to start something new, going over the college pick'em. So if you play college pick'em, um, we have been in a not a tight battle this whole year, but the three of us have been playing, and I'm in third place, several points below. But I did win last week, and I picked what 6 out of the 9. And of course, the last one didn't play. I bet I would have won that one too. So I bet I'm going to win again this week because I have created a new way to pick these, and I'm pretty confident this week. So all 10 games, we got FlashJordan in first place and Didster in second place. So my picks for the first game, we're just going to go chronologically here. I picked Pitt to beat North Carolina for 1 point.
I also took Pitt, and for me, it's only at 2 points. I'm not super confident. I really like Omarion Hampton on North Carolina. I always have. He's fun to watch. It hasn't looked too bad this year, and North Carolina hasn't showed me any reason that even at home they're gonna even that close to this Pitt team.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pitt. North Carolina sucks. They were up 20-0 at Duke last week and blew it, which I had them picked, and so that was pretty heartbreaking. They're bad. Mac Brown
They should
has
have.
basically quit.
They should have won that game though.
They absolutely should have. Mac Brown has quit on the season too. I think he's probably going to retire at the end of the year. No, I don't think that's a.
I just think he's
crazy
mentally
statement.
gone. I think he's mentally gone. He's up
Yeah,
there.
no, he's going to retire at the end of the year, most likely, from what I've heard. So, yeah, this is a pretty
Forced
easy pick for him.
retirement. How many points?
I had it at 7.
All right, Boston College at Virginia. I got Virginia winning this game for 2 points over Boston
Yep,
College.
same,
Ooh.
exact same.
Take the Eagles in this one, or is it the Golden Eagles?
No, I think they're just the Eagles.
Catch any of that?
Yeah. So,
Sorry, I don't know. Did you catch all that?
Yeah, you picked Boston College.
Hey,
I'm gonna take Boston. Yep, and technically an upset. I mean, the lines are so. See, I just really like the way they played Mizzou a few weeks back, and I think they're a good team.
Yeah.
well,
So I'm gonna
don't
go with the
forget,
Eagles in this one.
their starting quarterback Thomas Castellanos is out. So
Hey, any team that can beat Florida
Take
State
that
is
Really?
a favorite,
Okay.
favorite of my team. Well, you can't change
Yeah.
it now. You
Okay.
said Boston College.
now Virginia does no. Virginia's not a good team, so I don't think there's anything wrong with making the pick. I mean, I didn't pick Virginia because I think there's some good team. I mean, it could definitely
Yeah.
go either way. That's why it's on the pick'em
They
slate.
they need to make a comeback in football. They were never that great, but okay. Texas A&M and Missouri. This one goes against my heart, but I think Missouri has not played as good as their rank. They are undefeated. Got to hand it to them, but I think Missouri going to A&M is an A&M win for 3 points.
So, geographically, where I'm at, a huge part of me that wants Mizzou to lose this game. And preseason, again, over on my Instagram, you can check out where I, made my SEC predictions. I had A&M winning this one preseason. It's not that I think Mizzou's been that great. In fact, I don't think they're a good team. A&M just has not showed much this year. So I do think Mizzou squeaks this one out, which pains me to say, but I'm going to give this one to Mizzou.
Flash.
I'm I'm also going to go Mizzou, and again, I agree with A&M being a favorite in this game. Mizzou reminds me a lot of Michigan in that they haven't had to play that great team yet, and they've looked pretty bad in some of their wins, like, especially the Vanderbilt game. I mean, oh my gosh, they definitely should have lost. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and take Mizzou, though, to win, and my reasoning is two things. First thing is it's an 11 a.m. kickoff. I've always been a big hater of noon kickoffs
Yeah.
because I feel like the stadium doesn't get as loud. It's sleepy. Everybody's just kind of groggy, almost just waking up. And especially this is Central Time, so it's actually an 11. It's legit 11 a.m. kickoff
Yeah.
in College Station. And two, Missouri is coming off a bye week. I think Mizzou they got an extra week to prepare for this game, and I think they're a good enough team to where that extra week is going to make all the difference. So
Okay.
give me the Tigers.
Ugh. All right. So fourth game, real quickly. I got Oklahoma State beating West Virginia for 4 points.
Also, got Oklahoma State in this one. I've been really underwhelmed by the way that their offense, and especially Ollie Gordon, has looked this year. We're 3-0, if I'm not mistaken, and they've dropped their last two. But again, West Virginia is not great, and it's at Oklahoma State. And I've always been a big fan, a big proponent of home field advantage. So I actually have this one at 5 points, one where I'm not like super confident, but I definitely find Oklahoma State winning, and it could be a blowout.
Hey, if you're gonna pick on somebody, pick on me. I'm a man. That's why I pick Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Oklahoma State too. Now there's two good running backs in this game: C.J. Donaldson at West Virginia, Ollie Gordon, of course, for Oklahoma State, and they finally got Ollie Gordon going last week a little bit versus Kansas State early in that game. But because Kansas State kept scoring, they couldn't really run the ball late. So I expect him at home to have a nice bounce back
I
here.
think so too. I won that game last week. During the whole game, I was like, damn it, I should have picked Oklahoma State, but Kansas State looks pretty good. Rutgers at Nebraska, of course, I already said I've got uh, Nebraska winning this game for 5 points. I might regret it, but and you guys both picked Rutgers.
I have Nebraska.
Okay, so two for okay. Game number 6, Michigan at Washington. As I said, I picked Washington to win this game.
And obviously I
Yeah,
got Michigan.
you're gonna pick
It's actually
Michigan
at my-
every game of the season.
You're right.
Wait till we get to
Even
Ohio
if I
State.
know, believe me, I didn't want to pick them when they played Texas. I really wasn't that confident going in, but I am more confident with this game. I actually have it as my 6 point game. That's not me thinking that it's going to be a super easy win for Michigan. That's just me thinking that
That's not much
we're
confidence
going
in your
to
team.
win by any score.
If you're that confident, you should make them to 10. I'll let you make that change. You've already said it, but I'll let you make them to 10 if you want to make that statement. So which tells me that you're not. And actually,
Nope, I like where I'm at.
most whatever. Okay, most Michigan fans are like really. Oh, Michigan should be undefeated. They can't let go of the fact they lost to Texas. Now, you might not be one of them, but a real Michigan fan will put them for 10 points. Of course, Flash, you got Washington. Okay, moving on. UCF at Florida. Unless you want to bash Michigan, go ahead.
Nope, I'll do it after they lose. I'll do it on next week's show.
UCF at Florida. I've got Central Florida winning this game. I don't think Florida's good at all. It is my 7 point game. It probably should be my 1, but go UCF. He's lagging again.
He's miming.
And I know upset. I should be as confident of winning.
There it is.
All right, is that
Well, who'd you pick?
Say it again.
Florida?
Florida. Okay.
And I shouldn't be as confident about this win as I really am. USC's good. Don't get me wrong. I really like KJ Jefferson. But after
UCF.
watching Florida, What did I say?
You
USC.
said UFC.
UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. UCF.
Got Dana White
Um,
winning this game.
I think I think Florida's bad, but I don't think they're just horrible. And UCF hasn't impressed me enough, and I think it's going to be really hard for them to march right into Gainesville. And Florida hasn't been great, but it's still SEC nation, and that's a tough environment
All
to play in.
right,
So I'm going to take Florida in a tight win.
the former national
Right.
champs. Who you got, Flash?
Yeah, so home field advantage, right? Okay, it wasn't very hard for Miami to go in there and win by 25. It wasn't very hard for Texas A&M to go in there and win by 13. And that game wasn't as close as the final score indicated. So I'm going UCF. They're going to bounce back after a pretty humiliating loss to Colorado last week. I think they're better than that. I think they've shown prior to that game that they were better than that. Florida has shown no signs of life, and until they do, I cannot pick them. I cannot pick
Florida
Florida
hasn't
as
been
a
good
UCF.
since Tim Tebow. There's long and
Really,
short of it
that's
is. Truthfully, they have not.
they've been good, but not like Alabama.
They've been over 500, but okay. Duke at Georgia Tech, the undefeated Duke Blue
I
Devils.
just want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I interject right here just to get some anger out? Henderson is on the market, so for you Chicago Cubs fans, take Dansby Swanson over here in Baltimore. Continue.
Well, he's actually not. So enjoy that guy for the next 5-6 years.
You're putting him on the trade block on waivers.
I am. Get Brandon Hyde out, but this isn't a baseball podcast.
Did that game just go final, by the way?
It's 2-1. Gunnar Henderson swung it.
The dagger.
Back-to-back pitches. Back-to-back pitches grazed the dirt. And the next one was in the right-handed batter's box, and he swung it all three, and he missed.
Wow,
Years,
wow, wow.
the team that I how do I put this? The team that I hitched my wagon to, if you will, has defeated the Baltimore Orioles in the playoffs. Oh,
And I feel sorry for the Royals, though. I feel sorry for the Royals. They're going to have a tough time
But they just
against
beat
that
the
New York
Orioles
Yankees
2-0.
team because that Yankee.
Actually, I think the
Royals
Royals
are not good.
own the
They're not
Yankees
good.
this year.
And were you just telling me that the Yankees can't go to the World Series? So like, why should they be scared of them?
Oh, the AL representative of the World Series is going to come
Welcome
from
to
the other
Synchronous
side of the
Sports, where
bracket.
it's
That's Detroit, Houston,
baseball
Cleveland.
podcast. We talk about everything on here, though. Real time, though, when we were recording this,
I
the
digress.
Royals beat the Orioles. Whatever. I mean, we all knew the Orioles lost when they got swept by the Chicago Cubs back in July. We all knew that the Orioles weren't a World Series team. All right, moving on. Duke Blue Devils versus Georgia Tech. Quickly, we got to wrap this up. I've got Duke winning this game. This is my 8-point game. Georgia Tech is going to go down easily. I don't know why but I guess it's probably because Duke's 5-0. But that's who I got.
I learned everything I need to know about Duke last week when they let North Carolina, who is an awful team, go up 20-0 on them at home. They barely won. I'm taking Georgia Tech to win this game.
Oh my! Are you kidding me?
Georgia Tech may blow them out.
Why would you?
Don't get paralyzed by the 3-2 record. I really, really like this Georgia Tech team.
Okay.
So,
how many points?
I have it at. For some reason it wouldn't save when I was adjusting it earlier. I think I had it at 6. So, yeah.
Whatever. I think that's your
Also
way,
going to
way
take Georgia.
wrong.
Going to take Georgia Tech in this game.
Way wrong.
And I pretty much just agree with everything FlashJordan said. You have to remember, Georgia Tech, while they may not be the greatest team, their 2 losses weren't to no scrubs. They lost field goal game at Syracuse, and they lost at Louisville, who I actually can't remember if they're ranked anymore. They might have fallen out. They are. They're ranked 22. They're 22. So that's a ranked loss. And I have them at 9 points, so I'm going to take Georgia Tech in this one pretty confidently.
Both of you will be very wrong. I have Miami beating California for 9 points. Cal, the Golden Bears, I'm looking at right now, 97% of people that play Pick'em picked Miami. I'm going with that for 9 points. Should move it to my 10.
Should. That is my 10 game. I don't see how this game is close.
Again, we talked about the East. Game.
It's only because game day is going to be there. That's the only reason I can come up with.
You got to give Miami some love.
Coast to coast trip for the Hurricanes. I think that's the only drawback I have from putting the house on it. but I mean, I'm pretty confidently picking Miami to win. That was an insane game they just had against Virginia Tech. And
Oh, it was
I'll add
awesome.
one more thing. Because that was on Friday, they do have an extra day of rest to
That's
prepare
true.
for this game.
That's
So
true.
I will take Miami with some confidence.
Yeah, I concur with that take 100%. I actually going to put not only the house but the mortgage and the 401k on it as well. I don't think this is a
Don't.
particularly close
You don't
game,
have a
and
401k,
Miami
Don't
shut up.
do it. All right. All right. Texas Tech at Arizona. 10 points for me. Texas Tech beating Arizona. This is my get get even or get even worse game because Texas Tech is not slated to win this game. But that's my pick for 10 points. I'm going 10 all the way.
You pick the Red Raiders to win.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, this is why you're in third place.
It could be, but it's either get better or get worse. One of the two.
I gotta say, it's one of the weirder developments so far this season that Arizona is playing in a bunch of low scoring games. I think their defense is a lot better than they thought. Their opening game, they played New Mexico and let them score, I think, like close to 40 points, if not more. And they scored like 60. Their receiver, Tetaroa McMillan, had one of the better games I've ever seen from a wide receiver. And since then, neither's team in any of the games Arizona has played has been able to score. So I'm going to take Arizona a lot. I'm going to take Arizona, and I don't know how the game's going to turn out because this is one of the more confusing teams in the country.
Yeah, I
I
mean
mean,
that's,
they
that's
just
why
won
I'm
at.
picking. That's why I'm picking Texas Tech. You think you think I'm crazy, but for real, like Arizona's not that great either. I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I'm serious. Like after what you just said, and you give me crap for picking Texas Tech.
I, if I go 2-0, okay, the two games, Duke and Texas Tech, are the two teams that you're like weirdly confident in,
Yeah.
and I'm weirdly confident in the other. If both of those teams win, I would like a T-shirt of both of those schools sent to me. I want a Georgia Tech T-shirt and I want an Arizona T-shirt.
Okay, from eBay
Which
used child size. All right, Ditster, who you got?
I got Arizona. I'm a huge Tito and McMillan fan. I know Fafita too. I like that 1-2 duo. I remember I was watching them in the bowl game last year, and I turned to FlashJordan and I said these guys are legit. And or I mean, I actually think that might have been 2 years ago. I don't quite remember, but
that was last
regardless,
year.
um, great team. And their win last week did it all for me. I want to point out is I don't think it's crazy that you're picking the Red Raiders to win this game. They're
Thank
four
you.
and one. They're not a bad team.
Thank you.
But 10 points on the Red Raiders, it's even worse than me putting the 401k on the Hurricanes.
I agree.
I I, I
Worth
just
more.
I can't get behind
Well,
10
guess
points
what?
on the Red
Guess what? It's a
Raiders.
10 o'clock game. I love watching late football, and usually these late games are barn burners. So I'm watching the Texas Tech Arizona game. Expect a phone call. If Texas Tech wins, I don't care if you're sleeping. I don't care what you're doing. I'm calling you Saturday night when Texas Tech wins. Just saying. And I'm picking me to win this week.
All
So
right.
I'm going to find my way back, and I'm going to win this whole pick'em thing. And if you're watching this, you should trust my picks because I did very well last week, and I have a new way of picking. And I'll prove it again this week. And if not, I'll eat crow next week. I'll do something stupid. But all right, well, that's who our picks are. Thank you, Didster, for coming on from the which podcast?
Sports Society. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're gonna have the links down below. Flash, always good talking to you. Any last words?
Nope. And actually, I want to shout out another podcast I do called Inside Sports. So I want that link down below, and I'll send over this stuff so you can do that. 'Cause
Gotcha.
that's more or less where you'll be able to see me from now on. And that's where me and a couple of my friends, we get deep into things, and so I think it's pretty cool.
All right, sweet. See y'all later. Good luck. Have a great weekend.